the bridge between. High in the rolling hills lived two groups who never spoke to each other. On one side of the valley were the wolves, proud and strong. On the other side lived the sheep, gentle and kind. For as long as anyone could remember, they had been enemies. Old Wolf keeps saying, "Never go to the other side of the valley. Sheep cannot be trusted." Old sheep always tell the sheeps, "Stay away from the ridge path. Wolves are dangerous and mean." In the wolf pack lived a curious young wolf named Scout. She had bright eyes and questions about everything. Scout asked curiously, "But why can't we be friends with the Has anyone ever tried?" Mother Wolf replied firmly, "That's just the way things are, Scout. Some differences are too great to overcome." Meanwhile, among the sheep flock, a brave young lamb named Fluff wondered the same thing. "Father, the wolves look lonely on their side of the valley. Do they play games like we do?" "Don't think about the wolves, Fluff. Think about staying safe." Between the two territories ran a narrow stream crossed by a fallen log. No one used this natural bridge, as it marked the boundary between the territories. One spring day, a terrible storm struck the valley. Thunder boomed across the hills, and rain fell harder than anyone had seen in years. The little stream grew into a raging river. Scout shouts in alarming voice, "Our den is flooding. We need to move to higher ground." At the same time, on the sheep side, Fluff noticed something terrifying. "The river is washing away the land. Our youngest lambs are trapped on the sinking riverbank." Without thinking about old Scout raced toward the fallen log bridge. At exactly the same moment, Fluff had the same idea, running from the opposite direction. They met in the middle of the log, face to face for the first time. Startled, "You're a sheep, and you're a wolf." There was no time for fear or old prejudices. The river was rising fast. "My pack needs to reach the hills on your side. Our territory is flooding completely, and our lambs are trapped by the water. They can't swim." In that moment of crisis, something extraordinary happened. Scout and Fluff looked into each other's eyes and saw not an enemy, but someone who needed help. "I'll help save your lambs. Wolves are strong swimmers, and your pack can shelter in our caves. They're high and dry." Working together, Scout dove into the dangerous waters, guiding the frightened lambs to safety, while Fluff led the wolf pack to the sheep's dry caves in the hillside. As the storm passed and a rainbow appeared over the valley, the wolves and sheep found themselves sharing the same shelter, looking at each other with new eyes. "Your caves are warm and safe. We've lived across the valley for generations, never knowing. And we never knew wolves could be so gentle with our little ones." Scout and Fluff sat together at the cave entrance, watching the rainbow bridge the two sides of the valley. Maybe we're not so different after all. Maybe the only real difference was that we never took the time to meet in the middle. As the floodwaters receded, something had permanently changed in the valley. The wolves and sheep decided not to return to their separate lives. Together, they built a proper bridge where the log had been, strong enough for everyone to cross safely. Scout said, "Now, no one has to choose sides." Fluff added, "And no one has to be alone." The once divided valley became known as Friendship Vale, where differences were celebrated and old fears were replaced with new understanding. And it all began because two young hearts were brave enough to meet in the middle. If you enjoyed the tale of Scout and Fluff, please subscribe for more stories that warm the heart and open the mind. And tell us in the comments, what different friend has made your life richer and more wonderful?